What's up, guys? Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz back again with our Madoka Magia Record anime set review. Back here with Green, joined by Brian and Andy as usual.
Sup, fellas?
Hello.
And then we got our special guests, the Ryan Wibberley from Strictly Broken and the Niko from Burn One.
Oh my god, Niko, give me your autograph.
First Ryan.
All right, so let's jump right into it. Andy, you want to start it off with this Yachiyo here?
Yeah, we got this armpit Yachiyo. Startup opponent's attack phase. You can move it to an empty front row slot, so just runner. And it's also a clock bomb.
Center runner.
Yeah, it only goes to center
Empty
slot.
front row center slot.
Direct buff from
Hey, you remember that red double R from the Gacha game set?
Oh, the Kyoko.
Don't you love power creep?
Power creep, yeah.
It's just better.
Hard removal bomb instead, yeah. Seems a little bit better.
less power. Yeah, less power and better removal option.
I hate it. I don't like
This
it.
card's
very good.
awful. Kyoko's awful. This card's marginally better.
Your opponent fields 2 utility cards, and one of them trades with this.
I think the other part is, like, especially in English right now, which is, I'm guessing what this is kind of for, right?
Yep.
I don't think there's a lot of, like, super value, like, level zeros you're trying to, like, kill off the board with cards like this.
Not yet, but if there were, they'd be like the new one in Adventure Time where they're 500 power, so you need a 500 power bomb.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't trade, yeah.
Like, it doesn't even fulfill that, like, niche
This card would be better
Like,
if it were only 500 power.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Always
Like,
want your bombs to be low.
What is it? Like, you can maybe kill Chiori's and deny your opponent mill. That's about it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
I
English.
mean, I guess it denies your opponent like a little bit more than like a normal running suicider will, because like they don't get like you were
It's a
saying,
zone
they don't get their
bomb,
on
yeah.
death effect.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you still play this? This card's
Never.
literally garbage.
Nah,
Yeah,
I don't
never.
think you're playing this, but it's like talking about some of the merits of the card.
Yeah.
And maybe if you need green, I guess level 0.
Okay, look, the real merit is the armpit. Look at that art.
There is the armpit, yeah.
Dude, hair's back in a ponytail. Do you see that too? That's pretty good too.
Well, if you need green, you can just play the green Ricky.
Yeah,
like a good
the
fix,
argument
too.
of green like color splash is solved with Green Ricky from
Yeah.
MOBA gay set. So like doesn't even really do that.
Rip. Alright, next card.
All right, we've got this Sauna. If you have 4 or more other magic characters, can early play at level 2. When this card's placed on the stage from your hand, if you have another magic trait character, it gets 1500. And this cannot be targeted until the end of your opponent's next turn. And on play, heal 1.
Another healer.
So it's a 10k.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah, 10k cross turn, can't be targeted, heal on play, full field early or full field condition. I like it.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm thinking about for English if they can't be targeted is any more relevant than it is in JP.
I mean, it completely denies anti-change counters.
Yeah, that's like the big thing.
So like you can free fresh, early play Felicia, and then this can be the final card on your board, early play, and then you front with Felicia, and they can't anti-change this.
Yeah.
Which is, like super. I'm not gonna say super valuable, but it's pretty valuable nonetheless.
Because ReZero is more played, I'm actually going to give this like the a little bit lower than A, because ReZero is a lot more popular in English, and they rely on anti-change.
Right.
They like generate a lot more of value in the mid-game. And this...
I'm kind of disagreeing with that here, though.
Mm.
Just because, like, if you're... It depends on ReZero's board setup, right? Just because, sure, they can't anti-change you, but they can still counter over you.
They can. This is small.
All of ReZero's power is, like, going to be over this, especially on their level 3s.
Well, if they have
even
one...
behind, like, the 2k support that you can put down for Madoka.
If you have... Yeah, the 2k support, this would go to...
Because
this would
if
go to
you
12.
Attack like if you attack like a naked felt and then they just play the anti-change counter, they'll just use it as a 2/5 counter and then you tie and you're like shit.
Oh, Felicia would tie. Felicia would tie after
but then
backup.
they can actually anti-change
Yeah.
Felicia though. That's the thing.
Right.
I guess like Doesn't Madoka have some pretty good back row like assist options?
Just that
No,
one,
I'm
two,
saying
one.
Like, this is like the
I
next
already
week
did the
since
math.
we
I'm
recorded the
saying
video.
with the 2K. So Madoka does have a front like 2K support that you will run. So that's what I'm saying. So it's like if this swings in at re-zero, so like a naked felt at re-zero at 9-5, you'll tie if they play it
10-5
back
actually. Or Felt's 10-5.
Felt is 10-5. I was my bad. I thought I said Rem.
Yeah, naked Rem is 9-5 if she didn't get a reverse. So she'd go to 12, which would tie. But like I think Wibbs is coming out as like they can't anti-change your other lane. They can only anti-change.
No. That is important. Yeah.
All right, so you're guaranteed the you're guaranteed the two soul attacks unless they anti-change your first attack on the Felicia.
Guaranteed 2 stock. If you
you're guaranteed
the correct attack order.
Right.
Yeah. I
like
the 10K for me is kind of like why I don't really want to give it too much of a higher score. It's like sure you have hexproof, but like 10K on an early play is still kind of whatever.
I mean,
Especially like when I'm like thinking in relationship to like obviously we can't compare everything to Shizu, but like Slime is like one of the strongest plays in English right now, and in comparison to Shizu, this is kind of eh.
I'm giving it the A because I think like at the whether or not the hexproof and power is worth it. It's at the very minimum it's a early play healer with a pretty decent condition.
Right.
It pairs well with the Felicia. Yeah.
Yep. Good condition. Deck's a stall heal deck. You're not trying to win by killing them. You're trying to win by not dying. This plays well into that. You can even play multiples of this early play, specifically with Kaoru.
I guess
some,
even
nice synergy.
Yeah.
Even later in the game though too, like the not targetable thing could still come up like on your closing turns because like even if you're not getting anti-changed, you could still just like have
you could avoid getting clock kicked by
you can
not
avoid like
get
tap
not
counter,
Yeah,
all that.
too, yeah.
tap counter, yeah.
or any sort of neg soul, right? So like they couldn't target this with like a normal neg
Arisa
combo either, or anything like that.
Anything that chooses. But I think if you run into Nexal in English, you're probably running into Priestess. Like if someone wanted to play that, yeah.
So maybe you just run this as like a 2-of or something. It's just like
it's your auxiliary.
Supplementary early play.
Yeah, this
healer.
is usually like as a 2 or maybe a 3-of if you really like the profile, but this is usually a good solid 2-of.
Felicia's the more important one. Alright, we can move on. Alright, so we got this Yachiyo combo on bag. If you have 2 or more other magic characters, gains 2,000 power, sits at 6k, so Goblin Slayer. Climax combo on attack with the bag. Choose a magic character in the waiting room, put it in your stock.
Are you trying to make fun of how I say bag?
Bagel.
Yeah, a little bit. Big.
Bagel.
Bag. Bagel.
Bagel.
Bagel. Bagel.
Bagel.
But yeah, so like, spoiler alert, combo of choice for Monica level 1, right?
It's either this or the Felicia. It kind of depends on how you want to roll with it.
Well, the deck gets a lot from the extra stock. Playing into it a lot.
Does.
Like, you guys do a ton with that extra stock. Both from the combo and from the bag trigger throughout the game, because you pay out a lot. You're like looping brainstorms.
I think I bought this card in the foil. Or what is it? The foil climax in this card for a grand total of like $30 or something. So it's really, really cheap.
Wow.
I think I like this a lot better than like I haven't played against a lot of Japanese Madoka, but I have played against the Level I BB deck.
Milky Holmes. Yeah.
Milky Holmes. I had this same sort of stock chargy combo, and I like this off of bag a lot better than I do like off of stock soul. I think, which is what
It's
is that
bar.
What
They're both
has?
up. They're both up bar.
Both up bar.
Niko's on bar, which is marginally better.
I guess though, like if you're just trying to build up a lot of stock, like I'd rather be like incidentally triggering it into bag rather than bar. The
bag actually ends up bag. How do you say it?
You can just
Bag.
say it however
Not
you want,
big.
Ryan.
Bag. Is that bag? Bag.
you're really trying.
You're like, I'm Canadian. Please leave me alone. Okay, bag is actually like arguably one of the better triggers that Madoka can be running because, like Carmen said, Madoka uses and abuses stock a lot, like a lot, because you need to be brainstorming a lot. Most of your effects are costed in the mid to late game. You want to spam early play heals, so you need a lot of stock to back it up. It's like being on a bag is like incidentally better because it gives you like extra stock throughout the game, which then you can then use to convert into whatever effect you need it to be. And it doesn't have like the caveat fail case that like a choice trigger would have, for example, which like actually comes up in this deck because most of the time you're attacking into a free fresh deck, so you don't really have a bin besides what you paid out or besides like what you spend on like early play healers or whatever after you free fresh, and like you don't always want to touch your deck just to have a choice or like a target for choice in the bin.
Yeah.
It's some cool, nice synergy.
I like that it's a 6K.
Combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, combo
like
sitting at 6K cross turn is super premium. Like in Japanese right now, being a 6K body cross turn is like the premium. Like it's like what every level 1 combo wants to be doing or like is trying to strive for, because that's like the range in which, that's like the power range in which you can actually try to fight for board and actually try to defend board or whatever. Like anything below this is like too weak to actually consider trying to fight for board.
Also, so much better if you happen to whiff combo. It's a reasonable body. It's not like completely useless without the combo, like the Felicia, kind of useless.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, peeking. At least pretend to try to win board, and then it's the same color as the JC from the Moboge set.
Yeah, so it
combos
opens
really
up.
well. I think your ideal like level 1 turn into combos 2 of this and 1 JC.
Mm-hmm.
And the extra stock, like pay for the JC, pop it back. Yeah, like playing into that a lot. I'm actually gonna give this the A. Playing into it a lot, I think that like it makes the deck a lot scarier. I'm like not as afraid of the Felicia decks as I am when I sit down against this one. As long as it's
so
like
you do have to also kind of keep in mind though. So there is a downside to this card to where I feel like if your board gets answered and then like you whiff 1 brainstorm, I almost think you just kind of lose. Or you're, if not lose, you're put into a very, very bad like state. Because playing like going into your level 1 combo turn, you're probably going down to like a 3 or 4 card hand. You're hoping like the JC can refund you back a card, and
I don't think Madoka can whiff brainstorms.
On board.
Madoka's never whiffed brainstorm when I play into it, dude. I've never seen Madoka whiff brainstorm.
Well, let me tell you, coming from my experience, you're gonna have to trust me that it feels really bad.
I don't know when you play
it doesn't happen often.
When you and Ryan play it, you guys do hit it a lot. I mean, you do get an extra card. You're a 5-card brainstorm at minimum every turn, so hitting your brainstorm is a little easier. But still, yeah, you do have to hit.
I mean, you got to keep in mind too, I guess, like this card funnels really nicely into a brainstorm strategy too, because like you're getting 3 clean cards out of your waiting room into your stock, you know, for your next deck. So that's
this card gives snowball potential like really hard. If you loop it on first deck and you it's like hit a decent refresh timing on the second deck, you have absurd compression, which then leads into free fresh looping, which all leads into more absurd deck states and like more absurd game situations.
Yeah,
it's like the snowball potential on this card is really impactful, or the snowball is really powerful if it gets going. Whereas the Felicia, like it doesn't have that same snowball effect because, excuse me, card's always going to be dying, and like getting cards to hand is like less valuable throughout the long game than getting cards into your stock as Madoka, even if like you wanted to salvage a Kaoru or whatever.
It's just too much resources and compression at the same time. Like I think that's the scariest thing about playing into a combo like this. Like when Love Live plays it, or probably Madoka too. It's just like it's not the first time they do it that's scary, but it's like I hope they don't back up and have their characters live and then play another climax.
Like when Milky does it.
That'd be like backbreaking.
Like Milky does it, where like they loop combo on you, but then the only saving grace is that they don't have an actual brainstorm on their second deck to like take advantage of it. Whereas Madoka says, "Okay, 7-card brainstorm," like, and then they refill their hand, they mill down their whole deck, they free fresh, heal down, then it really helps them hit. I think we've mentioned a couple times. We just keep saying the deck state where like you hit this like refresh loop wall again when you're playing into the deck where you just can't do anything, and if you don't hit them to 3-0, it just makes their next deck even more compressed. So it just becomes this like endless cycle of like refreshing that becomes really hard to overcome without like the Madoka player getting stranded and you getting a chance to decompress them in some way.
It's the law of the cycle, bro.
Wow.
That's it.
You got it.
You're like, I just came up with it. Actually.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think there's a term like that in the anime, right? Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool if there was. I mean, they would be. They did, but
Kyube's goal was to stop entropy and stop the death of the universe by creating an endless cycle of energy through magical girl suffering.
We love it. We love it.
Just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, Ryan. I don't get it.
All right,
Dude,
next card.
It's anime. Who cares?
All right, Niko, this is you.
All right, well, we have this Irohan Madoka. At the start of your attack phase, choose a character in your front row, and if all your characters match that character's level in the front row, this gets 500 power, and when the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, you may draw ditch. And it's Shimikai on attack for, other characters, though.
Wait, this sucks.
Yeah, this is not very good.
Like, it's slightly better than a regular Shimikai?
It's better than a normal Shimikai.
Well, no, a normal
every
Shimikai would be
side note.
5k.
Yeah,
Like,
spoiler alert, Madoka doesn't even appear in the Magia Record anime, so I don't actually know why she's in the picture.
She's just here, yeah.
You know, this seems like it works better with like it has synergy with the Mobage cards that are like trying to like get all sit at the same level, right?
Yeah.
Or where was that yellow and
Yeah, if you're playing the level manipulation card package.
yeah, like if you're doing the level manipulation thing, this seems like a
better
pretty
with the
solid card.
Yachiyo, I guess, but that's blue, like gives you a dual color level 1.
I don't like the payoff though, because it's not even like you need to kill your opponent, and then all you get is a cycle. And
Whereas,
it's not even like
yeah.
it's not like you get to search or you get to salvage.
Well, and a normal
draw.
Shimikai is already just a 5k. So all connecting does is get you up to vanilla stats for the profile. For like
The ditch draw is useful though, depending on your climax lineup. Like if you're running a lot of like bars and pants.
well,
and
it'd be
stuff
better
like
in the other deck, right? Because you're book bar, so you're
I think
flooded more
the
often.
other kind of thing that's holding this back also is it can't even target itself.
It
So
can't give
like,
power to itself, no.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like it can't even power pump itself to even try to like get that payoff. You're kind of like wanting to snipe one of their like crappier lanes.
Yeah, like so. I think the point is like you snipe their crappy lane with this, and then the power pump your on reverse strong lane so that you can get the reverse in the strong lane as well.
I guess.
So
Maybe.
why don't you just play the JC?
Yeah, the JC is just a better auxiliary card if you're like comparing slots for auxiliary level 1s.
Mhm.
Especially if it's a card you have to connect with.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you really need reverse, this is okay at best, but even then it's a little sketchy.
I mean, the Felicia's an 8k by herself. Like, you actually just don't need power anymore. Felicia's better than Yachiyo from Mobage set, like, almost entirely. Like, there's very little argument for the play. Suruna. No, Yachiyo, sorry. There's very little argument to play, like, the old Yachiyo Shimakaze combo over the Felicia. So, like, if you're talking about an on-reverse combo for Madoka, it would be Felicia. And again, Felicia is 8k by herself for no reason. It's like you very, very, very rarely will need this to actually get her over something.
Yeah. Alright, well, we can move on. Alright, Ryan, you get to tell us about the twins here. First twins.
Hey, it's the totally not gay twins.
Yeah.
Yep, sounds like Monica.
Yeah.
Nah. Okay, sorry. It's a gold bar combo. When this attacks, if you have another magic character, it's a 6k on attack, so 7k with combo, and then when this attacks, when this card attacks, if you have the gold bar and you have another character, you can discard a specific army card character, which is the black feather that you see like on above the card, above the climax. And if you do, you can look it up to 4, and you can choose 2 magic characters, add them to your hand, and she gains 1k power for the turn.
So That swings for 8k, right?
Swings for 8k. It's a
Like if you do
Maguro
a combo.
It's a Maguro for 2, but you will have to ditch before you look, and you can only specifically ditch the army card, the Black Feather army
Yeah,
card.
it's like just even worse than the mash we looked at in Fate Grand Order.
So you have to be running heavy on the army card, which is already kind
Needing
of
that
awkward.
card, even if it is an army card to hit your combo, is like
Well, what's the army card do? Is it just a bomb?
It's one of those big ones. So correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going off of memory here. It's like if you have a copy of it in the back row, the front row slots get 2k per each copy on the board or something like
So
that.
you can run as many as you want. It can't side. If there's another copy of itself in the back row, this gains the following ability. For each of your other magic characters, this gains 1k power.
Oh, okay.
It's not even like a good army card.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Is there other synergies with the Black Feather?
A few, and we'll
engine?
go down the line.
The next card has synergy with the Black Feather, and then there's one more 2/1 in red. I think it is it's red
Yeah.
that has synergy with these 3 cards.
Like an enemy deck, right? It's like the what is it? What are they called? God.
Or Wings of the Magius.
Yeah, Winds
Yeah,
of
they're called the
I
Wings
guess.
of the Magius, the Black Feathers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, in terms of like, the mash combo is like super feels bad, but like for the enemy deck, I'm just gonna give it a straight C. The combo's like serviceable.
The combo's serviceable enough, and if the other Black Feather synergy turns out to be, worth it, then this could be serviceable enough. I like that it's off Gold Bar. I like that it's off of attack. Hits to a reasonable amount of power. You get a reverse.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
It's not the worst thing you could be doing.
It's not the worst army
Mm.
climax or anything like that we've seen.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the other incentives to run the army package, though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Getting on then. Back around to the top. It's you, Andy. You get the next.
We have the other gay twin. Each of your other magic characters, this gets 500 power, and also climax combos with the same gold bar. When this attacks, you have another magic character. You can discard the Black Feather and deal 1 damage to your opponent and stalk yourself.
From waiting room.
That's pretty dope, actually. So I really like these level 1 into level 2 combos that like work off the same climax. And again, the fact that it's bar helps facilitate that
I
a
think
bit
the biggest
more too.
problem that I see with this, though, is that you quickly you're losing hand pretty quickly. But this is since you're dealing damage, it was like you can start pinging your opponent down at level 2, I guess, and it sits like fairly big, 9k with a full field.
I like
Or
this
like
a
a
lot
fifth.
more than the level 1 combo. Like,
Well, depending how many Black Feathers you run, like you can grab 2 Black Feathers off the first combo. I mean, it's not great, I guess, but I mean, you could still grab another Black Feather and like another
Right.
card.
I think it's really weird because even in from some of the stuff I've been brainstorming, right? You don't even want to run that many Black Feathers just because there's so many other utility cards that you want to run instead.
Right, they just
Because
take
you
up
still want to
slots.
run your drop searchers, you still want to run your brainstorms and stuff.
I think the big
But,
thing is that the
it-
Black Feather is a shitty army card.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
It's
problem.
like not just like one of the bombs that you're on a bazillion of, which are not good, but they're better than this one. Because this one doesn't just like flat gain power for other copies, like a weird back row condition. Like makes you not even want to run that many of it. I like the damage at level 2, but it's not
For an army, and since you
Yeah.
also get the level 1 combo to go with it, you might run maybe 2 of this or maybe 3 of this, probably just 2 or so if you're gonna run this.
I'm guessing they want you to pair this with Alina or no, the
If
red
you-
one.
You pair it. They want you to play 8 bars. You pair it with Alina, or you pair it with the old Madoka from Mobage set.
Okay.
That's what they're trying to push for the bad guy deck.
Okay.
It's like it's a fine enough budget option. Let's just leave it.
Hmm.
Just leave it.
Yeah,
at that.
it's just a budget deck.
A fine budget option.
Yeah, I'm surprised you actually gave that one the C, Carmen.
I like the damage and the fact that it pays for itself. I like if you're gonna be forced into playing an enemy deck, this is like better than I've seen in most enemy decks. So, you know, I give a similar score to like things in Mugon or whatever, like weird, strong but locked to enemy deck stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on, Brian.
Yep, we've got this Yachiyo, level 3, on play, top check X. When she is placed on the stage from your hand, choose a Yachiyo invitation to food. That's this 2K that does a thing in your memory and put it into your stock. And then when a card is sent to memory, if you have another magic character, this gets 4K power until the end of the turn.
The 2K is comes into play, pay 1, ditch 1, salvage, and then on reverse, if you have 2 or less memory, it goes to memory, or you can send it to memory.
Okay, that's...
So this is one of the only top check X's in the set, right?
Yep.
Hell yeah. It's either this or Homer from Mobich set, but that's only checks 3.
So yeah, that makes this relevant no matter what. Being attached to a drop salvage isn't the worst thing in the world.
No, definitely not. So if you play the drop salvage is in memory. It plays for 1 stock.
Although I think in a deck like this, you would play it empty as a 1-of as a top check X to get you into what you needed.
Probably.
I like the drop salvage, like the synergy with that, right? Like you get the memory compression for free just for like the whole game of having this card sit in your memory, and then when you go for your kill turn, you know, you're winning that turn. You don't need your memory anymore. You can convert it into extra stock.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was going to say. Is being attached to the drop search, playing for 1 stock, swinging for 13 is definitely not the worst thing.
And if you free fresh that turn, we'll get into that when we get to blue. That sends a card to memory, so you'll be big. You'll be 13.
But there is like a prevailing theme in this set that, you know, you can only have so many cards in your memory.
Right.
Yeah, it maxes at 3 for the most part.
It boils down to kind of like what we talked to before, right? Where it seems like they originally printed this as a memory-heavy set, and then they discovered, oh no, we can't actually do this.
Yeah. Because I'm guessing development for this set was around when Saikana was booming. I think if that should track by like how the Bushiroad development cycle works.
Dude, how does her... What's even the point of the third effect? Like, the third effect literally doesn't...
No, Ryan, you don't understand. I initially thought that too, and then there's this one fringe scenario that's going to come up with 1 in 30 games where you realize that's not actually flavor text, and it's actually text on a card, and it matters.
Sure.
I mean,
yeah, but no, the third effect is probably never happening, because even like you're probably not digging and then going into free fresh.
You might.
Wasn't there like one of the finishers that like had you sending cards in and out of memory? Or am I getting confused with a different set?
I don't remember.
I don't think
Not
so.
Set, no.
Not the set, no. You might be thinking of Summer Pockets. That like markers a card from memory with a climax combo.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she does turn something like Wish into a 4K backup for herself and heals you 1.
Yeah.
That's cool synergy, cool, yeah. And again, one of the only top check X's if you're in green at all, if you need this effect.
This is just straight up one of the only top check X's.
This is all you have, so think about those kind of plays, I guess. Pretty interesting interplay with Wish, though. That's cool.
Yeah, I could see it. I might tech that in my Sayaka deck or something.
All right, moving on. I'm actually going to pass this one to Niko. Niko, you can talk about this card you can never get in SR.
Right. So this is the best girl in Magia Record. This is Alina with her really angry face. When the climax combo is placed into your climax zone, if this is in the front row, it gets 3k power, and all your characters gain the following ability for the turn. When the battle opponent, this is reversed, you can stock a card from Waiting Room. This is on a level 3 with no standby, by the way, and no real options to bring this out unless you're trying to play the like the Saki Stock Soul deck to where you can maybe summon this at level 2, and then you have to protect a 9/5 level 3.
What's the other effect?
The other effect is whenever one of your characters is placed from the stage to the waiting room, you can pay 1, ditch 1, up to once per turn, by the way. So you can't even... if you watched Dean's set review, shout-outs to Dean and shout-outs to the Burn One channel real quick, of Lost Decade, I think Pandora, the main finisher in Lost Decade, has this, except it's not capped to once per turn. But yeah, so whenever one of your character dies, you can pay one, ditch one, and burn one to your opponent. If this is in the front row, so you can't
card has
do
3
any
soul.
stuff with.
It has to be one per turn though, because cube exists in this set. So if this card, if it wasn't once per turn, you could have infinite burns in this deck with this card. That's why it has to be capped at once per turn.
Oh yeah, because Cube can clock on core your center
Yeah,
lane.
sorry, Cube is a card from Old Madoka. I think it's Rebellion. If it's in the front row, your center slot gets clock on core. So if this wasn't once per turn, you can put Alina in the front, you put Cube in the front, then you play some random card in the center, and then you overplay it, and then you can infinitely clock encore it, and then it'll constantly be procking Alina. You can constantly do pay one, ditch one, burn one, over and over and over.
Problem?
And over.
That would have been really cool.
That would have been dope.
Too good. Why else? What else, Niko? Come on, can't
card has 3 soul.
The
so
card does have 3 soul. Also, the SRs of this card do not exist.
Niko's been trying to get SRs of this card since
I've been
the set
trying
dropped.
to find SRs of this card since the set dropped. They don't exist.
Mm.
So
Card's
maybe the
interesting.
effect's not like as bad as you think though, because like if you have multiple Alinas on your field, they can both trigger.
Yeah.
But then you only have one lane that's crashing, and then they live, and then it can only trigger on something else, right? Because
You can't
another
trigger on
character is placed
itself.
for turn. Well, if they both die, they could trigger on each other. Well, no, because one would be off the stage, so only one would trigger.
You'd only get one.
Yeah, you'd only get one. So, yeah, the once per turn makes it really awkward.
Seems real awkward all around, yeah.
The 3 souls meme. Shout out to my boy Toma. He's a level 0 though.
This card sucks.
Unfortunate.
Like if the climax combo did something just a little bit extra, right?
Anything
outside of stock charge at level 3, like
Yeah, that's
First part of the card is like flavor
text. Like
text.
heal on play or something. Like why doesn't this card cantrip to like help facilitate the?
Because then this card will be
effect,
playable, Andy. We can't have the best girl be playable in the set. Come on now.
Why you would never play this as a climax combo, would you? You just play it, you just throw it down.
You just like run it as like a 1 or 2 of without
Yeah.
climax.
Have you seen the climax? Dude, the climax looks so cool. Why wouldn't you run it? That's literally the only reason you run it.
the art
climax
is nice
looks
on the
cool.
climax, yeah.
I do like
love
the art.
JoJo's. JoJo poses. We Giorno Giovanna. Get it? It's 'cause he's Italian, so he's pretending to be Giorno Giovanna from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
Part 5.
Golden Wind.
Okay.
No, this card sucks.
Anything
card
else about
not
this
very
one? It's unfortunate. This is cool,
yeah.
but like,
Yeah, and I think it's because like you also have like hand-on core assist too with the Sayaka. So I understand why they printed the restriction. It's still just kind of lame though.
You go for a bunch of brainstorms your last turn. Well, you can only do it once. Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
know. I guess
Yeah,
like
the cap at 1 is what really hampers it.
All the cool synergy you can think of with this card doesn't work because it's capped at once per turn.
Yeah.
maybe you just like someone mentioned, like you just tech it into another deck, is just play it like as a 2-costed 3-soul beater, and then you can maybe get a couple pings off it.
I think that's
Possibly.
the only way to even,
so you
make
can
it vaguely work.
do that, but why would you not just play the Kyoko from Rebellion instead, which is a heal on play and on attack burn 1?
Well, that doesn't have best girl on it apparently.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not in red. Otherwise, you should probably play that other card. 3 souls like more of a drawback than anything else, especially if you're
Yeah.
going for like an actual finisher combo.
unless you're setting up like some sort of nasty ass side for 1, in which case like.
That
So,
is-
like, you play a climax, you
okay.
side a level 3 for 1, you crash another lane, the other lane dies, you pay 1, pitch 1, burn 1, so you get, like, a swing for 1, a ping for 1. You're,
it
like,
is kind of nice having
chipping.
this as like a final attack, because you could just side.
I don't know.
Like,
I've done stupid shit like that with Toma. It's like it's like the same kind of damage, because he's, like, a cancel burner. So it's like I've done, like, similar lines, like, the damage output, but like I don't think it makes the card good. I think it's the only thing you can do with the card, like competitively. It's interesting, but Brian said
it might be alright to run it as like an off finisher if you really need it, but that's about it, I think.
There are probably better options.
What's the point?
Yeah.
I'd honestly like but the thing is, like, if I was to like run an off finisher, there's better options. Like there's Kyoko,
Yeah.
there's Holy Mommy in this set, which is also technically colorless, so you don't have to worry about like running green if you don't want to run green.
Oh yeah, they do have that mommy card.
Yeah.
And that guarantees damage for 1 extra stock. It does need a reverse though, but yeah.
I mean, it's still colorless if you're like thinking about an offense.
Yeah.
All right, we've talked about this enough.
Hmm.
We can move on.
Unlucky.
All right, I'll go back to this one. I'll use this Sauna. 500 frontal assist and spammable waiting room brainstorm. Salvage ditch. You need spammable waiting room brainstorm. You got the option. The super niche, like a D plus. I guess everybody likes the cats. Is this a cat card?
We do like the cats.
Like the frontal 500 assist makes it more playable than you know.
At least
Then
this
a
does
normal
anything.
spammables probably.
Snagonya.
Yeah,
Is that the joke?
that's the meme.
Okay, now going yeah.
It's okay.
That's a lot of cats.
A lot of cats.
It's like one for each time you brainstorm.
Yeah.
Where are you getting all that stock, dude?
Destroy deck
the
December.
level 1 combo we just looked at.
This is how you free fresh, right?
Unironically though, like a one of spammable brainstorm in this kind of deck is like actually something you can consider doing. It's like actually a viable tech option that you want for like situations where you need to empty the deck out and you have no other way to do it. That will very rarely ever come up in Madoka, but like something to think about as like a tech one of maybe. I don't know. The card's cute. Look at it. Look at how cute she is. She's got the
She's
cat.
cute.
She's smiling because she's a good girl. Oh,
All right, next. Ryan, you got this one.
oh my god, I love Sauna. Sauna's great. Okay, Sauna's stuck in the void. When this is placed from hand to stage, choose a character in the opponent's front row, give it neg 1000 power, and then it has the on reverse tier list memory. You can send it to memory.
This combos with something else from earlier, right? Or this is a memory condition for something.
Yeah,
I don't remember what.
there is a 3/2 Sauna. Sorry, 3/2?
Yeah, it's in yellow, I think. Right?
Yeah, so there's a 3/2 yellow Sauna which has when this attacks, you can pull this specific green Sauna out of memory, and then it gains 1k power and 2 soul for the turn. That's the synergy.
And it's a top
Okay.
check X. It's the other top check X.
Mm-hmm.
This one is the other one is less splashable than the green one.
Remind me, does Adventure Time have a lot of like level 0s that are below 1k that go to memory? That grant
have
effective
2.
memory?
I have a couple, yeah.
So I think this might actually become a little more relevant as like another tech option.
Yeah, minus 1000 gets around like a 500 power assist to a 500 power thing, which is like the way that people will like generally try to tech to play around minus power effects.
Yeah.
But minus 1000 gets around more of that.
So I think this card is gonna have like maybe a niche spot if Adventure Time becomes like a problematic deck.
Yeah.
This one might have like a niche spot to kind of like help alleviate that issue a little bit as a costless like get rid of the card off the board.
Hmm.
But I think that's really the only real use I can find for it right now.
Seems pretty splashable too.
Yeah,
Like
it's like-
early
Yeah,
on, it
just
goes to
throw it
memory.
in.
Maybe kills one of their level 0s.
At least
lets
as
you
a tech
trade.
card, if you jam it out and it's not something that's usable in the matchup, it deletes itself from your deck early. So, but yeah, it's
Snah.
not great.
Mhm.
Snah.
Imagine if they had the plushie as a card art.
Why isn't this just the plushie? Why couldn't we just have a Snah card? Okay, wait.
Oh.
Imagine Snah SP.
Oh,
I'd buy it.
I'd buy
I'd
it.
buy it.
All right, Andy, back to the top.
Dude, check out this next card though.
Oh,
It combos with a vanilla. I already
Oh, yeah.
like it.
We love those.
We hate it.
This ability activates once per turn when your other Suruno magical girl service is placed from hand to stage. Choose a magic character in your waiting room, put it into your stock. So this ditch bonds to the 229k. And when you play the 229k, you get a stock back. So it's basically a 219k. This is awful. I don't like.
Yeah, it sucks.
I hate it.
It is a 219K, which is no, it's an F. It's bad. All right.
I always get excited when I see like these.
Yeah, because
like-
they're not apples, Andy.
Well, no, not bonders. What am I trying to say? Don't put words in my mouth. Don't put the apples in my mouth. Like cards that will like do something interesting. Like they'll make effect of. How should I put it? They give you some sort of advantage for actually playing vanillas.
Isn't this a buff off of a Symphogear card, Wibs? Because didn't Symphogear in the latest set have like a bond to a 2/2? But instead of stocking something from Waiting Room, you had to stock the character.
Yes.
Ooh.
Damn, Symphogear suffering. All right, Brian.
All right, we've got this 1/0 Alina Counter. When you use this card's backup, all battling characters gain the following ability for the turn. When this card is placed from the stage to the waiting room, you may put it back rested in the slot it was in. So it gives both battling characters Encore for free.
Huh. And it's a 0 powered backup.
Zero power back.
Yeah.
This card is hella meme.
It like gives you a free. It's like
Yeah, it's
you're not countering over them, but you get your card back.
give
Give
something.
the card hand Encore.
Yeah, give something hand Encore for the turn. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Madoka has a hand Encore support, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Madoka's
yeah,
a
that's
hand
right.
Encore
It's
support
not.
and
It's not. It's
Sayaka.
not as fine.
Although that card is
Doesn't-
blue, this is colorless.
All the battling characters. That doesn't mean your other characters too,
No,
right?
No, it means your
It's
opponent.
your opponent's character.
Battling characters are characters that are currently in battle. So it's like the card, it's the opponent's card that's attacking and your card that's getting attacked. Those are considered battling characters.
Okay.
Wait a second.
Huh.
This could be pretty, what if your opponent is playing literally any effect that sacks characters from their board on your turn? You gave them hand Encore? Pretty yikes. Guess you just don't play it in that matchup. That's pretty spooky. Because it sticks until end of turn. Doesn't matter if they lose or win the combat.
Just sack it off multiple times or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keeps coming back.
You enable your opponent's infinite.
I mean, usually those are locked to once per turns too, aren't they?
Depends on the set they're in. If they're not in a set that can support it, sometimes it's not. Spooky card, funny card. Probably not great because of the hand Encore support. If you want that kind of effect, you probably build into blue enough to support it.
I don't even get the flavor of this card, to be quite honest.
I don't think it is flavor. I think it's just haha funny effect.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Design space. All right. Next. I think this is me, the Sauna. So when this attacks, you can pop that Sauna that goes to memory that we saw before from your memory to your waiting room. If you have 2 or more other magic characters, this gains 3,000 power until the next end of your opponent's turn, so it is a 7k cross turn, costless. And then when the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, you may draw a card, if so, ditch a card. So
Yay, more ways to use those. Minus ones and saunas. If your memory's getting a little too clogged up.
yeah, you just pop it out. It is a 7k body cross turn that can reasonably get a reverse to do its effect. But
I think I'd like it a lot more if it was 7/5, just because, honestly, slime is the big reason.
yeah.
You can test like the slime combo instead of tying with it, which then slime doesn't even like super care.
You'd
too
have to,
much
like,
because
have
they would
back row
set you up
power.
the memory. Yeah.
Yeah, you
you
have
would
to...
you would need to run this with like some back row card if you really wanted to like fully
Well,
use this.
is getting big against slime even mean anything? Because they want to crash their shit anyway, so like...
Yeah,
They'll-
it forces you to expand less resources though, which is always
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
kind
So
of like
why-
the way I'm thinking about it. But go ahead,
why
Wibs.
Why would you play this when you can play JC?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You don't.
I mean, no, you don't.
Oh, wait, yeah, JC is just... I would rather pay 1 stock than dedicate, like, minimum 2 of this, 2 of the thing. It's like, and that's even greedy, like 4 slots.
Yeah,
I
like
don't think you even need 2 of this. You could just run you have the level 0, you have your early.
You'd have
card
to
that
run
comes
more
off
of the
it.
level 0. You'd have to run more of the level 0 to it to
This
be
is
in
like
memory.
this is maybe like a
Yeah.
one of.
Well, it has to get into memory before your first level 1 turn, is the
Yeah,
thing.
so you need to play like 3 to 4 copies of the 0 just to make sure you see it if you're playing around the the memory condition.
That it can go to memory, so that you have the play available to put this down at level 1. That's really, it's really a lot of slots.
I think it would be like slightly better if it was like maybe an extra 500 or so power bigger.
Yeah.
Look at the art. Pajamas,
The art is cute.
Yeah, the art is pretty good.
And she's smiling like a good girl that she is. Oh my god, I just want to give her a head
Ryan, calm down.
Hey, look, dude, Sauna is like the third best. She's so adorable.
She is really cute in the show.
I love her. She's so cute.
Not enough cats in this art for me.
0 out of 10, not enough cats.
Not enough cats, yeah. Alright, last green card. I believe this is Niko.
Right, so this is a Seance Shrine Counter. If you have 1 or fewer magic or characters, you can now play this from hand. Choose one of your characters. That character gets 2/5 for the turn. If there are 2 or fewer cards in your memory, perform the following action. Choose a character in your waiting, and if it's a character with the same card name as a character in your memory, you may send that character to memory.
Huh.
No.
So this card would actually be like serviceable if Madoka
There wasn't a cap.
Card capped at memory. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's all starting to come together for me though. Like, I think maybe this all was intentional. You know, maybe it wasn't an afterthought that they capped the memory, because the whole point of this set seems to me to be memory management. You have cards popping into and out of like a certain zone, and you kind of have to like manage what's going in and out of a closed area. It's very similar to the clan I used to play in Vanguard. Back when a young Andy played Vanguard, Pale Moon, they kind of like have a bunch of stuff popping in and out of this closed zone, and you get effects when stuff goes in and out of like your soul, which is like memory in that game.
I mean, it's hard to tell if it was intentional or patched in, you know.
Whether or not that's good or not, you know, that's
it's interesting.
But I think that's like, this helps facilitate a strategy like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely starting to get the vibe that it was, or erring more on the side that this was intentional as well.
Because why else would there be stuff that purposely takes stuff out of your memory?
Right. They want you to just be flickering things in and out of your memory all game. Seems to be the intention here. That being said, this card is meh.
Garbage.
Seems maybe more splashable in builds that aren't going for like the memory cap sort of flicker mechanic, that are just kind of like just playing a mid-rangey game, and you can kind of just like have a 1/1 2500 counter that gives you a memory.
I still wouldn't play this over the.
You have a 1/1 2K counter. That's also Leafa.
Yeah, I'd rather always play Leafa.
Not an event.
It only memories cards that are already in your memory, by the way. And Madoka doesn't have any way to put additional cards in the memory besides the free fresh or the cards that send themselves to memory. So this card, like the free memory, quote unquote, only works if you're already playing the memory flicker splash cards, whatever you want to call them, or off the Iroha free fresh, which gives you memory. But like, big shrug.
Very cool card though.
Yeah, I think it's like
definitely flavorful, but I don't think
What is the flavor?
I don't think you're. That's spoilers.
Yeah,
okay,
those spoilers.
Fine.
Don't ruin this for me.
This is actually like one of the cooler episodes from the anime, so I'd rather avoid spoilers.
Okay. So before we wrap up, you guys might have noticed as you were going through, we cut some cards. We're gonna start doing that from now on. Just sort of going over the set beforehand very briefly and cutting like some of like the absolute things nobody wants to talk about. We go over all of them beforehand. If nobody has anything really to say about them at all, we're going to cut them. That's what we're going to do going forward, not only with the rest of the colors in the set, but also in the future. I want to let you guys know. But yep, we'll see you guys in red.